IHSA Championship event is presented to you by Country Companies Insurance. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And by Pepsi, the joy of cola. Welcome to Robin Roberts Stadium in Springfield for the 1999 Class A Championship game, Teutopolis against Herscher. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jim Blaney along with Dave Otto, and tonight we have a matchup between two of the premier programs in Class A baseball. Experience, they've been here a lot. They have a chance to win a title tonight.
JB, you're right. They've both been at the dance, and they've got some great athletes on both sides. These two programs are rich in high school baseball tradition.
And remember, pitching is often key when you get down to the state quarterfinals because you play 3 games in 2 days. Greg Einhorn will start tonight for Teutopolis. Good news is, Dave, he's fresh. Bad news, you got a sophomore going in a championship game.
Yeah, JB, I think it's safe to say that Einhorn, this is the biggest game of his career, although he's got great stuff, 7-0, and the key really for him is he's fresh. A lot of these pitchers are dead tired right now.
Steve Kurski will get the start for Herscher. The good news on him, he's a senior, plenty of experience. Bad news is he pitched 7 innings yesterday.
JB, after throwing 97 pitches, I don't think I could brush my teeth after that, but at this point it is all adrenaline, and they're just going to go out there and try and throw strikes.
Pitching will be the key, and offensively, which guys can get to the opposing pitcher first? When we come back after this timeout, we will have a look at our lineups for tonight's game, the Class A Championship between Herscher and Teutopolis. Springfield for the 1999 state championship game in Class A. And let's get a look at the lineups and the members of the teams for tonight's game.
Hey, there we go.
Tonight, to this championship game for the 1999 Class A baseball tournament. Interscholastic athletics are an extension of the educational process. And an athletic arena is the coach's classroom.
Should I test my mic?
Be smart, sport a winning attitude, good sportsmanship. Remember, attitude is for everyone. Fans 6 men who voluntarily serve the IHSA member schools and the young people who compete in baseball at those schools as members of the Boys Baseball Advisory Committee play major roles in the development of the annual state baseball tournament. Currently serving the IHSA as members of the Boys Baseball Advisory Committee are Jay Lyons of Wheaton, Tim McGuire of Fairbury Prairie Central, Jeff Miller of Shota Northwestern, Dave Rogers of East Peoria, Mike Rogowski of Aurora, Walden Valley, and Dennis Trame of Breeze, Mater Dei. We would like to take this opportunity to thank these men for their contribution to boys baseball in Illinois and ask you, the fans, to show your appreciation for their efforts at this time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's meet the players and coaches for tonight's championship game between the Wooden Shoes of Teutopolis High School and the Tigers of Herscher High School. First, for the visiting Wooden Shoes, let's meet head coach number 11, Rob Smith. Non-starting players, number 1, Cole Custer. Number 7, Scott Weber. Number 9, Eric Blummer. Number 10, Mitch Prummer. Number 16, Jeff Probst. Number 19, Todd Thiele. Number 23, John Repking. Number 25, Jim Crake. Number 28, Jeff Kowalczyk. Number 29, Mike Meyer. And number 30, Doug Westendorf. And now, here's the starting lineup for the Wooden Shoes of Teutopolis, who enter tonight's game with a record of 34 wins and 3 losses. Batting first, center fielder, number 20, Johnny King. Batting second, shortstop, number 24, Mitch Custer. Batting third, right fielder, number 21, Jason Herbuth. Batting in the cleanup spot, playing second base, number 17, Corey Weber. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 15, Ross Stevens. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 22, Mike Beaning. Batting seventh and pitching, number 18, Greg Einhorn. And batting 8th. Catcher, number 14, Brad Schmidt. Batting 9th, designated hitter, number 8, Ryan Woodges. He'll be batting for left fielder, number 4, Josh Altoff. And those are the 34-4, 34-3 wooden shoes of Teutopolis High School. And now for the home team, the Tigers of Herscher High School. Let's meet head coach, number 9, Eric Riggins. Assistant coach, 00, Brian Smith. Assistant coach, 42, Raleigh Thill. Assistant coach, 99, Kurt Schleich. Manager, Kyle Bush. Non-starting players, number 2, Todd Walther. Number 6, Kevin Schaumburg. Number 7, Josh Snyder. Number 11, Todd Hoffman. Number 20, Chris Jensen. Number 21, Steve Wilkins. And number 22, Brad Elliott. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the starting lineup for the 36-4 Tigers of Herscher High School. Batting first, playing right field, number 14, Matt Kapczynski. Batting second and pitching, number 3, Steve Kershke. Batting third and catching, number 33, Tim Marks. Batting in the cleanup spot, first baseman, number 44, Ryan Hovey. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 1, Travis Brown. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 8, Justin Marty. Batting seventh, left fielder, 31, Jason Adams. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 32, Matt Duvall. And batting ninth, third baseman, number 10, Pat West. Second baseman for the Tigers this evening, number 4, Brad Johnson. Your umpires for tonight's game from Harrisburg behind the plate.
So those are the lineups for tonight's Class A championship game. Herscher against Teutopolis. Teutopolis will get the first at bat when we come back after this timeout. We are just about ready for action here in Springfield, the 1999 Class A championship baseball game. Jim Blaney along with Dave Otto. Teutopolis will get the first crack at scoring some runs in this thing, and this is the way their lineup shapes up. They've got a lot of power. Johnny King, the leadoff hitter, 10 home runs coming into the state tournament, and the top of the order has driven in a lot of runs, which obviously means the bottom of the order, even though they're batting way down, they get on base a lot, and they generate a lot of offense for head coach Rob Smith. The defense for Herscher sets up like this: Adams in left, Marty in center, Kapczynski is in right, and then the infield, West, Brown, Johnson, and Hovey, Tim Marks behind the plate. And the starting pitcher, Steve Kershke. As we talked about in the open, 97 pitches yesterday. He is the school record holder for wins, 31 and counting. His teammates, they want him in this game. So I guess you could say, or Kershke would say, you want me in that game. You need me in that game. And he will get the start tonight. Not a good night to be an umpire. It's about 80 billion degrees here. D. Wiley from Harrisburg behind home plate. Doug Maxwell at first, Dave Yockey at second, Doug Elledge at third. Down the left field line, Bob Kopus and Charles Houston from Macomb out in right field. It is warm, and the Herscher players decided they wanted to wear the black uniforms. In case you're wondering why would anybody in their right mind want to wear all black uniforms when the temperature is pushing 90. They're high school guys. They're oblivious to stuff like this. Leadoff hitter Johnny King stands in hitting .341. Opening pitch of the game taken high, ball one.
One thing, JB, Kurski throws 97 pitches yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see how his arm reacts to no days rest.
Swing and a miss, count evens up at 1-1, and really, Dave, in the heat, it's not the pitchers you're concerned about, it's the catchers, because both the catchers caught earlier today.
Well, it's certainly not easy to catch 14 innings behind the dish, and I imagine they're not too deep behind the plate. Either catcher is probably in there for the duration.
Kurski caught the outside corner, 1-2. And that one low and outside, so count evens up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. So Kurski strikes out the first hitter he sees, Johnny King. What's interesting about Kurski is you would look at this guy and look at the numbers, Dave, and say, man, he has a chance to pitch at the next level.
He really does.
This is his last game.
JB, he's got good stuff. Now, he's not going to overpower you, but he's got a good breaking ball, and he showed it right there to Johnny King. Just a nasty pitch low and away.
That brings up Mitch Custer, the junior, and just like with Johnny King, Kurski falls behind on a high pitch in the first pitch of the sequence. And that's the first ball it's been at least hit. It's not in play, fouled on the right field line.
JB, this is a guy that you really want to keep an eye out for. Only a junior, and he's already being heavily recruited, and he will play Division I in 2 years.
.452 Custer's batting average coming into the state tournament, driven in 41 runs this year. Count even at 1-1. And that pitch driven into right center field. On his horse is Marty, but he's not going to get there. This one is off the wall. And going into second base is Custer. He's going to turn it on. He's going to go for three. Custer is in there with a triple. It's a long way to the wall here in Robin Roberts Stadium, and that one took a bang off the wall about, 405 feet from home plate.
Custer just stomped on this ball. Breaking ball up in the zone, and that's going to be a problem for Kurski to get that breaking ball down when your arm is tired. And Custer just sticks the right field wall. He's a tremendous hitter with good pop the other way, and he showed it right there, JB.
Our good friend Tom Pachorik would have marveled at how well he stayed back on that change. That brings up Jason Herbeth, and that pitch skips in front of home plate, ball one. So one sign for Kurski. He has fallen behind every hitter he has faced here in the first inning. Now working out of the stretch with a runner on third. And that one low and outside as well. So big advantage for Herbeth, a .420 hitter, the senior coming into the tournament. Also with 2 homers and 29 RBI. And that one driven into center field. Marty has a beat on this one. He's going to have to let it drop and then misplays it. So Marty looked like he had a beat on it at first, took a step back, lost the ball. He ends up letting it drop in front of him. Johnny King, who made the first out of the inning, was then followed by Custer with the triple. Custer comes in to score, and Herbeth, which what you would think would be scored, as an RBI single.
Well, Herbert just got a little on the end, but was strong enough to drive it out to center field. Marty, I thought he had a beat on it, didn't get a real good jump on the play, and let it jump. And great read by Custer in scoring.
Corey Welch grounds it through the hole between first and second base. So the Teutopolis wooden shoes have a good rally going here in the first inning. Jason Herbeth overran second base a little bit, but didn't get caught for it. So consecutive hits, 3 of them by the wooden shoes, have a run in, and also now runners at first and second with only 1 out. And Ross Stevens, the third baseman, coming to the plate. And very, very quickly, a visit to the mound for Steve Kurski.
I'm sure Raleigh's a little concerned right now because everything is up in the zone with Kurski. Up in the zone, you're going to have problems.
Now, Johnny King, the first hitter, he struck out, but remember, he chased a high pitch. And then Custer stayed back on that high change and drove the triple. And then Herbert didn't waste any time in driving it up the middle. And then Corey Weber did the same thing. Weber on first, Herbert on second, only 1 out. Ross Stevens at the plate. 26 runs driven in coming into the tournament. He has a chance to pick up some more here. And that one, a little action on it. Stevens chases after it, strike 1. So Stevens becomes the first hitter to fall behind Steve Kurski.
Boy, what an advantage it is to have a guy like Tim Marks behind the plate for Herscher, who's going to block everything in sight.
And that one low and outside. Counting is up at 1-1. Now let's skip ahead a little bit here. We talked about Greg Einhorn will be the starting pitcher for Teutopolis, a sophomore. Now he gets to go to the mound in the bottom of the first with a lead to work with.
Oh, absolutely, JB. You can't measure that right there to get that early lead, and then you go out there as a pitcher and you have unbelievable confidence.
1-2 the count to Stevens. And that one caught just the outside corner of the plate, so Stevens goes down looking. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Kershke. And now Mike Beening will come up with runners on first and second and only, or I should say, 2 out.
Boy, it looks like Kershke's going to live and die with that breaking ball. Good one on the outside corner. So if he can get that ball down, he's going to be tough.
Leon Durham's train has come by. Dave will give us the story here in a second. 0-1 to Beening. See how Kershke decides to play this high. Train tracks run just beyond the right field wall here. And you can hear the horn blowing. And when we can actually see the train behind the right field fence, we'll fill you in. Strike. 1-2. So how far would you say the train is out beyond the right field wall, Dave?
JB, that's about 500 right there. Leon Durham just got all over a fastball in AAA when the Cardinals were here and hit the train.
Off the fist, fouled off and out of play. Dave won't quite be able to make a play on it. So Beening battles and fights one off. And you see the 375 sign. And the 375 sign is in right center field, so you can imagine how far that train is out there. 1-2 pitch, first and second, 2 out. Teutopolis leading 1-0. That pitch on the ground, into right field, base hit. Coming around third is Herbert. Looked like he might have pulled up for a second, but he will score. It's 2-0 Teutopolis. And now they have Weber caught in a rundown. He's in at third base. And taking second base on the rundown is Beening.
Well, when you look at these hitters, the lefties in their lineup, Beening especially, they are dead pull hitters. So Herscher needs to play over that weight. Shoot towards the right side. Beening strong enough to drive the ball through the hole.
That brings Greg Einhorn to the plate, and he could help his own cause here in a huge way. 2 out, runners on second and third. Einhorn takes high. This is just scripted as well as you could have it if you are Greg Einhorn, the sophomore starter for Teutopolis, and now he can really make it easy on himself. Throw over to third, but Weber back in plenty of time.
You know, as a starting pitcher, you love when your team goes out there and puts a bunch of points on the board, but you're nervous because you want to get out there and start pitching.
Einhorn fouls that one off down the right field line.
It looked like one of my hacks right there.
No, it didn't, because Einhorn's hitting 349. When was the last time you swung a bat?
1994.
That one driven to third. Nice pick at third base by West. Goes over to first and stretching out and hitting the bag with his right foot is Ryan Hobie. He was taken off the bag. He looked behind him and then stretched that right toe as far as it would go to get the final out of the inning. So the damage is limited to 2 runs. Teutopolis in the top of the first inning, they come up with 2. Herscher gets their first crack at bat when we come back. Herscher trailing 2-0 as we go to their half of the first inning. Here's the way their batting order looks. And it's an amazing group considering that Justin Marty, batting in the number 6 hole, is the lowest batting average out of the first 7 hitters, and he's hitting 353. So in other words, these guys could sting it. The defense sets up like this for Teutopolis. Althoff, King, and Herbert, they're the outfielders. Stevens, Custer, Weber, and Beening, the infield, and Brad Schmidt behind the plate. And Greg Einhorn on the mound, and he has a lead to work with. Now, there's plenty of other arms to go to should Einhorn get into any trouble.
JB, they've got some great arms, but at the same time, I am sure that Teutopolis would like to go as long as they can with Custer.
And Matt Kaczynski tries to bunt his way on and bunts foul.
I'm sorry, JB. Greg Einhorn. Custer's over at shortstop, who also could pitch tonight.
Exactly. They have a lot of arms they can go to on Teutopolis. And just one of those games where if your arm isn't falling out of the socket. You can play Kaczynski down the first base line, handling it all by himself as Mike Beanie went away. And we talked about how much of an advantage is for Einhorn to have some runs to work with. Well, now you have to wonder if Herscher guys can keep away from pressing to try and get runs if they've fallen behind early.
Yeah, JB, that's a good point. I mean, there's a lot of ball left. Heck, we're in the bottom of the first inning, and Herscher can put up points in a hurry. We've seen it throughout this tournament. They have come back.
Steve Kershke, a 440 hitter. He takes low. That's caught the bottom part of the strike zone. Strike one.
Boy, he's got a yacker early.
He yacked me into thinking it was a ball. That one is high, 1-1.
Most of the games that Herscher has played in this tournament, they have come back. They were down 6-0 to Prairie Central, and they came back and won that game in 9 innings. So they can score them in a hurry.
And again, a little bit of the ball makes it 1-2. That one outside, and looked like Brad Schmidt got a little bit crossed up possibly on that one.
You know, you're going to have good movement, JB, when you're fresh, when your arm is fresh, because that's that last bit of extension where you can just really pull down on the ball.
Foul tip, so staying alive with the count 2-2 is Kershke. Kershke would dearly love to get on and try and ignite something. Has one homer here in Springfield. And that one started out high, was working on breaking back into the plate, didn't quite make it, so a full count. Outside, so Kershke doesn't get a hit, but he does get on base. That'll bring Tim Marks to the plate. Einhorn only averaged 2 walks per 7 innings this season, while striking out 7.
Keep an eye on Tim Marks. He's going to Butler next year, JB, and this guy can flat out play. We saw him in the first inning make some nice plays behind the dish, blocking balls.
Now Steve Wilkins will come in and run for the pitcher Kershke. But remember, Kershke stays in the game. You don't want, it's a good rule on a night like tonight. You don't want your pitcher running around out there. It is stifling down here. That pitch low. So both pitchers were able to record the first out, but that was where the trouble began for Kershke. And now Einhorn working with the man on first, and he's fallen behind 2-0 on Tim Marks.
Einhorn really hasn't found his rhythm yet, JB, and then especially going out of the stretch, out of the gate. You really want to try and throw out a windup as long as you can.
Ground ball towards short. Custer comes up with it, but couldn't pick it clean. It may have hit the lip of the infield and taken a little bit of a funny bounce. But Custer had the beat on it, couldn't make the play.
Boy, the ball stayed down on Custer right here. And really, you got to work your way up. If you're any infielder, you got to keep your glove down and work your way up. Custer just got his glove up a little bit and was not able to get his glove back down.
And that brings to the plate the cleanup hitter, Ryan Hovey, and that's inside. And they do give Custer an error. That driven deep to left field. Way back into left center field. It is off the wall. Wilkins will round third. He's heading for the plate. He will score. That makes it 2-1. Second runner out at the plate. Tim Marks cut down, trying to score all the way from first.
Hovey just got all over this pitch here and drove it. I thought he was going to leave the premises right here, the way he hit that ball, but it's a muggy night. And it bounces off the wall. The third base coach makes the right decision here because it takes 2 perfect throws, and Marks just couldn't sneak underneath. And what a great relay.
That brings Travis Brown to the plate. 2-1 to Teutopolis. Strike one. Travis Brown hitting .442 coming into the tournament. And that one scalded through the third base coach's box. Almost got his coach.
You know, one thing that we've seen throughout this tournament, JB, is a lot of guys stand on top of the plate, and the pitch is in, they're not able to keep the ball fair because the only thing they can do with that pitch, unless they really pull their hands in, is to drive the ball foul to left field.
Brown hits it to left field, got a little bit of air underneath it, going over toward the line, and didn't make the diving catch. Josh Altoff making a nice move over there. And we should point out that these teams have played a couple of games here already. You get into foul territory, it's going to be a little bit of an adventure because the guys aren't quite sure where they're at. There's a lot more room down the right field line than there is down the left field line here. 4:15 to dead center. 3:20 down the lines. And 3:75 in the alleys. That pitch a little high. Travis Brown trying to pick up what would be tying run in the game. He is out at second base. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Herscher comes back with 1 run in their half of the first inning. After 1, Teutopolis 2, Herscher 1. In case you're wondering why only 1 run scored on that play a little bit ago on the double. We'll get back to that in a second. That one's into left field for a base hit. So Brad Schmidt leads off for Teutopolis with a base hit. Okay, we're going to go back to the double that scored the run for Herscher in the bottom half of the first inning. Ryan Hovey is at the plate. Now, running is Steve Wilkins. He thought it was out. So he's just into a jog, and you see coming behind him and running hard all the way was Tim Marks. And Marks had to slow up or he would have passed Wilkins, and that's why only 1 run scored. Now Ryan Witch is at the plate, designated hitter for Teutopolis. He comes to the plate with a runner aboard, nobody out. Throw over to first. And to be quite honest with you, Dave, I had a hard time picking up the ball in that hit as well. And with all the white signs in the outfield fence, it was kind of difficult to see.
Well, you know, overall, this ballpark is very difficult to pick up the ball, especially during the daytime, because you've got these metal seats and you just cannot see the ball. Now, as far as a hitting background here, I think it's a tremendous background. You got green, and you can really see the ball as a hitter, but as far as fielders, boy, it's tough.
1-1 the count. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Widge is in the 9-hole, wanted to lift and separate right there. He really swung hard there.
Always wanted to say this, just a bit outside. Witches came in hitting .315. Drives that one right back up the box to second base. Nice scoop by Brown over to first, and an even better scoop at first by Hovey. He's having an outstanding game defensively in addition to having a run-scoring double.
Hovey can flat out pick it over at first base. I thought Brownie right here did a great job, got a good jump on this ball. It was almost like he was in motion before the ball was even hit. And Hovey picked him up over at first base with a nice scoop. Boy, that was a short hop right there. Those are the toughest in the world to pick. Now, that's one thing both clubs have. They are strong up the middle. You've got to be strong up the middle, JB.
We go back now to the top of the order. Johnny King struck out in his first at bat. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So Steve Kershke has the advantage that his teammates are helping him out defensively because he has had a lot of base runners so far, but has buckled down a little bit here in the second inning. That pitch just caught the inside corner and then broke across the plate. Gave the umpire a good look at it. 1-2. Back up the middle, Kershke with a nice stop. He'll flip it over to Hovey. Not 3 up and 3 down, but Kershke does face the minimum in the second and gets an assist as well. 2-1 to Teutopolis. Herscher about to come up in the bottom of the second. The broadcast rights to tonight's event have been granted to Fox Sportsnet Chicago and Intersport Television by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this event without the written consent of Fox Sportsnet Chicago, Intersport, and the IHSA is prohibited. And we'll have the AA championship coming up next week. And what's really odd, Dave, is most of the downstate schools are already out of school because they don't have to make up snow days like the schools up and around the Chicagoland area do.
What an advantage, JB.
Justin Marty will lead off here for Herscher in the bottom half of the second inning. Marty came into the tournament batting .353. That pitch just caught the outside corner. So Greg Einhorn quickly out in front 0-2. And Einhorn throws that one low, hoping to get Marty to bite, but no dice. A lot of the Teutopolis guys going with the shaved head look. Team unity is nice, but don't know if I endorse it, but if it's Einhorn and you get people like that, who cares? Second strikeout of the game for Einhorn.
Boy, I really like Einhorn out of his windup. He's got a lot more extension. Sometimes from the stretch, he ties himself up a little bit, gets great extension right there, and you need that extension to get the ball down.
Jason Adams hitting .396 comes to the plate. Takes the first pitch of ball. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Yeah, he really looks, Dave, like when he goes to the stretch that he almost tries to take too short of a step.
Exactly. You got to get out there.
Driven down the third base line, just foul. So now Einhorn out in front, 1-2.
Well, you see these guys, not only do they stand on top of the plate, but when you got a bat that is light as some of these aluminum bats, I have not seen so many guys pull the ball to left field because you are so quick in there. These bats are 5 ounces lighter than their length.
And that one is pounded foul as well, meaning that if it's a 34-inch long bat, it only weighs 29 ounces. And that particular bat, Dave and I both picked up before the game, and everything is out in the barrel of that thing.
Yeah, it's got a huge barrel, and it almost feels like a wiffle ball bat.
The 1-2 pitch again, so right now Jason Adams, he's got the pitches down. He's getting out in front of them, though. He's pulled 3 consecutive pitches fouled on the left field line.
Well, Einhorn's doing a good job of getting in on guys because you got to. But when you get 2 strikes, you may want to take a shot away with the breaking ball.
Well, let's see if he does it here because he hasn't set up for it. He did. He left it out over the plate just a little bit. Johnny King is coming in from center field. He has it 2 away. That was a good pitch.
And he got the good extension right there to get that pitch low and away.
Well, he was busting him inside, and then gives him this ball and just took a little bit off it too. And even though Adams stayed with the pitch, there was really nothing he could do with it because the speed was so much different.
You know, especially when a guy's pulling you. If they're pulling your number 1, you're dead red. You got to go with the breaking ball away.
Matt Duvall comes to the plate. 0-1 pitch. Inside, Duvall pulls it into right field, but there to make the play is Weber. He goes over to first, so a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the second for Greg Einhorn. Teutopolis got 2 runs in the top of the first. They continue to lead. It's 2-1. Top of the third inning here in Springfield. Teutopolis leading Herscher 2-1. Obviously, if these teams are in the championship game, they won their first 2 contests to get here. Coach Rob Smith, and here is how he has guided the Wooden Shoes into the championship game. I had a flashback to what it was, but I just couldn't quite just come up with this. High 1-0. You know, it seems like it was only yesterday that they beat Pleasant Plain, and it was in the quarterfinal 3-2, and they came back this morning and beat Marquette 6-4. That's popped up on the infield. Calling forward is Hovey. He's underneath it and has it 1 away. Mitch Custer becomes the first out of the third inning. That brings up Jason Herbuth. Singled in a run back in the first. And didn't have the timing down on that pitch. Got out a little bit behind it as he tried to adjust the speed. 420 hitter.
I think Herbuth right there was looking for a fastball in, and he got a curveball away. That's great pitching.
That pitch high, it's 1-1. Herbuth, a senior, and he drives that one into left center field. Marty is going back. He's running as hard as he can, but he's not going to get there. The ball is going to roll all the way to the wall. Herbuth makes the turn at second. He's heading for third. Here comes the throw, not in time. In there with a triple. Second triple of the game for the Wooden Shoes. You know what, Dave? I love the way these guys, they're running all the way. There was no doubt in his mind from the time it left the bat that he was going to head for third.
Boy, they really do get after it. Great hustle right here. Herbert got a curveball up in the zone. And in difference to that other curveball he got, he stayed back that time, kept his hips closed, and really drove the ball. Marti had no chance, but an outstanding relay almost nipped him over third base. Herbert can flat out run.
So Corey Weber just looking for a fly ball, instead puts it on the ground. Hovey makes the play. He has to go over to first, out at first, but the run scores. Score it as a 3-1 ground out, but give Weber an RBI.
Coach Regis there made an interesting decision. Did not play the infield in. Probably anticipates that this might be a high-scoring game because in certain situations, you're going to play the infield in.
And very quickly, a drive into right center field. No one's going to get to that one either. But Kaczynski picks it up and holds Ross Stevens to a single. And Steve Kershke, who just sailed along in the second inning, now all of a sudden running into some trouble in the third. Teutopolis leading 3-1. Mike Beaning comes to the plate. He had an RBI single in the first. He will try and keep this alive here in the third. Outside, ball one.
In the semifinal game today, both Beaning and Weber both had difficult times against the lefty that threw for Ottawa, Marquette, who had great stuff from the left side. They weren't able to stay in on those pitches.
Throw over to first. Stevens back in plenty of time.
So I'm sure both Weber and Beaning are both happy that they finally get a righty tonight.
And that one driven into left center field. Again going back is Marty. Adams chasing as well. Neither one of them are going to get there. Marty comes up with it. Rounding third and heading for home is Stevens. Here comes the throw to the plate. He is out. And again, Herscher keeps themselves close in this game because of their defense.
Wow.
And I am sure what the question is about this play right here, jumping up in the air. 3-1 Teutopolis going to the bottom of the third. Eric Regis has been thrown out of the game. Well, he's going to third. He looked like he was walking toward the door for a second there. And
early exit.
Here's the play at the plate.
JB, I don't think I've ever seen anybody try and jump over a catcher. The Marks did a good job, ball in the dirt, and they got Stevens to really keep Herscher in this ball game because Teutopolis can score a ton of runs, and Herscher caught a break.
And that's what the coach was upset about, I'll guarantee you. Herscher coming to the plate here in the bottom of the third inning. This is Pat West, the third baseman at the plate. Swings and misses. He's in the hole 0-2.
That pitch right there by Einhorn had some bite. Got that good extension, just really drilled that outside corner.
Did he go? No, he did not. 1-2. Well, the question was, how would Greg Einhorn be early? And I think the answer has been pretty good. And that pitch caught the outside corner. Third strikeout for Einhorn. He's now retired 5 hitters in a row.
And Einhorn's really found his rhythm right here. Threw a couple sliders away and then decides to juice him on the outside corner. Great pitch.
Kaczynski comes to the plate. Grounded out to first, back in the first. 3-1 Teutopolis over Herscher. The 2-0. And that one catches the outside corner. 2-1. One thing both pitchers doing in this game, working very, very quickly. Swing and a miss. Actually, he tipped it. 2-2. Grounded towards short. Great play to knock it down by Custer, but he can't come up with the handle. It'll be a base hit for Kopczynski.
Boy, it's a game of adjustments. Kopczynski looked bad on the pitch before. This time he stayed in on the ball, drove his hands to shortstop. And Custer's got tremendous range over there. Couldn't find the ears.
Steve Kershke will come to the plate. Walked and scored in the first. Well, you know what? And both pitchers have figured out that lower part of the strike zone, exactly where it is, and they're working it. Strike one.
JB, pitchers tend to deal more when you have your shirt tails hanging out. You got to leave that uni out.
Fashion statement.
Hey, whatever it takes. You got to be loose out there.
Got the baggy pants, shirt tail going. And that pitch he didn't get. 1-1. Although Kershke is going in with the tucked in look, at least at the plate. Strike two. So now the advantage shifts to Einhorn at 1-2. That one grounded towards short. Custer comes up with it, goes to second, not in time. Over to first, no throw. You know what? Custer had no chance there. That ball was moving far too slowly. And with the runner at first going on contact, there's no chance.
The only way Custer's going to make this play if he goes in harder than he did. Waited back at the last second instead of getting it on one less hop than he did. And Kopczynski really got on his horse there.
So first and second, one out. Tim Marks comes to the plate. Marks drives it towards second base. What a great stop. Over to second for one, and the throw to first goes over toward the dugout. And that's going to bring in a run. Kopczynski comes across and scores. Outstanding play at second by Corey Weber to knock it down. Almost looked like that very famous clip of Ozzie Smith when he was with the Padres, where the ball takes a funny hop. You need to reach up in the air and stab it. Made a great play to get one, but then Custer throws the ball away.
Oh, you really got to give Corey Weber credit there. Tremendous range over at second base.
Ryan Hovey comes to the plate.
I understand that. I found that out.
3-2 in favor of Teutopolis. And that pitch, now the pitcher's starting to work that outside corner.
Hey, if you're going to get a couple inches out there, JB, you got to keep going out there.
Run around first, two out. The 0-2, swing and a miss. So Ryan Hovey goes down swinging to end the inning. Fifth strikeout of the game recorded by Greg Einhorn. Teutopolis gets out of the third, leading by a 3-2 score. Ready for the top of the fourth inning. So Steve Kershke, he has had runners aboard in every inning, but his defense is helping him out, and he has recorded some key outs as well. Greg Einhorn, the opposite number, will start off the top of the fourth for Teutopolis. Swing and a miss, strike one. Cooling off appreciably now that the shadow is starting to creep across the infield. And Einhorn just fights that one off, sends it towards second. Johnson comes up with it, over to Hovey at first, one away. It's a little bit of self-defense almost, Dave.
Boy, that was a spinner right here. These are not easy, although they look easy. Took a funky hop. Brad Johnson found the handle and was able to get him.
It was a spinner when it was pitched, and it was a slice when it was hit. That brings up Brad Schmidt. Schmidt jumps on the first pitch, sends it toward the hole, knocked down by Pat West. Comes across, and again, Hovey digs it out, 2 away. You know what, Dave? I think his name has been shortened from Hoover.
Hovey can flat out dig over there. Pat West had great footwork right there, getting over there. Travis Brown would have had no chance over at shortstop. And Hovey, jeez.
Ryan Widges comes to the plate, grounded into a double play in the second. He sends that towards center field. Marty has done a lot of running back. He's had a hard time coming in. That drops in for a base hit. And now Johnny King will come to the plate. He is one of only 2 shoes in the lineup who has yet to get a base hit. So Kershke never wants to have an easy inning. King struck out in the first, grounded back to the pitcher in the second. Thought he wanted to swing at it. Speed got him a little bit, strike 1.
And once his hands went forward there, he couldn't swing. Got to stay back on that breaking ball, because that was a pretty good breaking ball to hit.
And that one low.
Marks is a cat behind the plate. He just smothered that ball in the dirt.
Well, on a night like tonight, he's a sweaty cat. Black uniform, all the gear. It's gonna smell like a hockey player does when their equipment gets bad. I mean, it gets bad. 1-1. And Kershke trying to work that outside corner, didn't get it. 2-1. And that went a little inside and pulled foul. So the count evens at 2-2. 3-2. Teutopolis leading here in the top of the 4th inning. Runner on first, 2 out. And the runner at first is Ryan Witches.
Boy, one thing that you look at, Marks can block balls, but he sits back there nice, gives a great target.
King fought that one off.
Marks will be attending Butler next year.
The 2-2. Popped in the air behind second base. Johnson going out, Kopczynski coming in. Kopczynski calls for it and makes the play. So Kershke allows a base runner, but allows no runs in the 4th inning. It's 3-2 Teutopolis heading for the bottom of the 4th. Eric Regis has his Herscher Tigers in the championship game. Here is how they got here over the course of the weekend. Probably one of the most anticipated matchups of the quarterfinals was Herscher's game against Driscoll. Herscher scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th to win 4-3. And then this morning, Herscher, a big winner over Massac County, 10-3.
Well, look at Herscher in the bottom of the 6th inning. That was the key in that ball game. Pat West hits a 2-run home run against Driscoll, who's always got a great squad. And that was the ball game.
So the 7th inning proved to be kryptonite for Massac County. Travis Brown to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jumps in the first pitch, sends it into left center field. Johnny King going back. He will not get there. It's off the wall. Brown is going to pull up at second base. He will gladly take the double and not try for third.
Well, Brownie right here was sniffing for dead red, and he got it. Looked like a little bit on the end of the bat, but boy, if you can hit 375 sign off the end of the bat, you've got some kind of pop. Wow.
Brown out on second base. Marty at the plate. He struck out in the second. Shows bunt. Gets everybody to move in. But ends up taking ball 1. Marty 353 coming into the tournament. Shows bunt again. That one catches the inside corner. 1-1.
It's probably a good move here. Marty's struggling a little bit at the plate. And Coach Regis, you know, this might be a situation where you either lay one down or you try and get it to the right side of the infield.
Missed that one, strike 2. Now he has to swing away.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Regis right here is going to put the bunt sign down again. But you got to do your job and you got to get the runner over. Get Brownie over to third base. So Marty will probably take a shot, drive it to right.
Wow, does show bunt with 2 strikes. Throw to second, and they would have had him picked off if the throw had been accurate. Schmidt looked up, and he saw Travis Brown cheating way off second base. Tried to get it down there quickly, but couldn't get it on the money. 2-2. Will we see bunt again? Marty shows it. Wow, takes it right down the middle. Full count.
You know, if you got faith in your guys to be able to lay down the bunt in that situation, it's difficult. It is no fun bunting with 2 strikes.
Marty swings away and misses strike 3. 4th strikeout of the game for Greg Einhorn.
Einhorn just threw gas upstairs, and Marti just couldn't lay off that pitch. Probably not a strike. Not in this league anyways.
Jason Adams will come to the plate, flew out to center in the 2nd inning. 1 out, runner on 2nd. It's the tying run out there at 2nd base. Boy, he was all over that pitch, but got a little in front of it as it goes behind the concession stand behind 3rd base.
You know, with the strike zone being so wide, a lot of these guys being up on top of the plate, they're defending against that pitch away.
And that pitch also drilled foul down the left field line, a little closer. That thing might have challenged the 320 sign if he could have straightened it out.
You just can't keep that ball fair, that inside pitch. All you can do is drive it foul down the left field line or block it and flare it off to the right side.
See what Einhorn does here. That one grounded towards short. Coming up with it is Custer. Had a little bit of a problem with it. Throws it in the dirt, safe at first. And Travis Brown was holding all the way at 2nd base. So now there's runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out.
Boy, for the most part, Custer is golden over at shortstop. Just took a short hop on him. Probably not that difficult of a play, but once he couldn't find the handle on it, he had no chance over at 1st.
Well, Greg Einhorn has gotten into a little bit of trouble here in the 4th inning. And we will now have the conference on the mound. Rob Smith comes out to have a chat with his sophomore pitcher. And he said it wasn't so much runs or hits that were going to determine when Greg Einhorn may come out of the game. He said it was going to be location more than anything else. And he's going to stay in the game. And the reason why is because he's busting the Herscher guys inside. The location isn't a problem. But I'm sure with a sophomore pitcher, now you've got him out there with the lead run over on 1st base. You just want to go out there and get him settled down a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're a sophomore. You got runners on the pillows, and that's when you really got to clutch up right here for Einhorn. Location really hasn't been a problem, and that would be a concern because he hasn't pitched in a while.
And that's a ball low.
There's only so much BP you can throw on the side, but in your bullpens, there's nothing like game situations.
And that one low as well and gets away. Smith is going to advance over to, Brown advances to 3rd.
Brownie had a good read on that. You know, I love that base runners where they react if the ball looks like it's going to be in the dirt. And he got a good jump over there, and Schmidt just couldn't keep it in front of him.
However, Adams stayed over at 1st base. He did not advance. Matt Duvall now, a chance to drive in a run. Maybe more if he can hit a gap. Inside, that's a strike.
You know, that's a key. I mean, Herscher wants to stay out of a double play, and this might be a situation where they will test Schmidt's arm and send Adams.
2-1. And that may be indifference to see if it's awarded as a stolen base. Should be a stolen base. So now you have runners on 2nd and 3rd. 1 out, 2-2. Matt Duvall at the plate. The DH hitting .293 coming into the game. Duvall stayed with it, grounds it towards short. That's going to get a run in. He's retired at 1st base. Adams holds at 2nd. Tie game at 3-3.
Boy, both coaches are playing the infield back with the man on 3rd base. You know, that's a difficult decision to make, but, you know, you have 2nd and 3rd right there. In that situation, you know, a base hit with the infield in, you're going to give up 2 runs. So the coaches are both playing the percentages.
Pat West struck out in the 3rd, drives this one right back up the middle. Making the turn is Adams. He's heading for home. He is safe. Herscher has the lead for the first time in the game, and Brad Schmidt does not agree with the call. Pat West advances to 2nd on the throw home.
Pat West continues to have an outstanding turn. We got to break the ball up in the zone, drove it to center field. You know, Coach Regis talked about Pat West is really swinging the bat well. Had that big home run against Driscoll, and he continues to swing it.
Matt Kopczynski, the top of the order, grounded out in the first, singled and scored in the third. And he too now with a chance to drive in a run with a base hit. 4-3 Herscher in the bottom of the fourth inning. Outside, 1-1. That one grounded towards second base. Weber comes up with it over to first, and the side is retired. But not before the Herscher Tigers come up with a couple of runs here in the fourth inning. They have assumed the lead. It's 4-3 Herscher. For the most complete coverage and up-to-date information on your favorite Illinois high school team or athlete, log on to the official IHSA website at www.ihsa.org. And if you follow high school sports closely, you need to use IHSA.org.
Boy, JB, IHSA does a tremendous job in running this tournament. Jim Flynn, the assistant executive director running this here, and Dave Fry, the executive director, and also Don Robinson. Just a wonderful tournament.
And Ken Leonard of Sacred Heart Griffin High School here in Springfield, one of the hosts here in the city. Fantastic football program over there, and they run a fine baseball tournament as well. Top of the fifth inning. Teutopolis batting for the first time trailing. Custer will lead off here in the fifth. Singled and scored in the first, tripled and scored in the third. And he's ahead 1-0. Steve Kershke, 15-2 in the season, 31 wins in his high school career. And that one is a strike on the inside.
Well, we talked to Coach Regis before the game, and he said the seniors on this club would have had his head if he didn't run Kershke out there.
Fought off into right field. Kopczynski still has to battle the sun a little bit out there, but wins the battle and retires Custer. That will bring Jason Herbeth to the plate. Now Kershke has gotten into a little bit of a pattern. The first two innings he allowed the first runner on, but in the last three innings he has retired the first hitter.
Oh, get your leading lady. That is so nice. Stay in that windup.
Got a big bender there to go over the plate for strike one. Now works the lower half of the plate, didn't get it. 1-1.
You know, both of these guys, Kershke and Einhorn, I like them much better out of the windup.
Oh, did he take something off that one? 1-2. Gas, Dave.
Gas away.
Went right down the middle of the plate with it, grounded to short. Brown comes up with it, over to first, 2 away. Did he miss his location there?
Yeah, a little bit. Got it out over the plate. Boy, Brownie over at shortstop's got some great range. Just watching him get some jumps over at shortstop. He is in motion as the ball is coming to the plate.
Well, the thing was, is after changing the pace on the prior pitch, you knew the gas was coming. Corey Weber at the plate. Takes a strike. Weber singled in the first inning and then grounded out but got an RBI in the third. And that pitch in the dirt in front of home plate.
Boy, this game is all about rhythm. Right now, Kershke does have that rhythm.
And he is just grabbing the ball and he's firing.
Hey.
1-1. To right field. Kopczynski, he's going back. He goes to the wall and it lands in the warning track. Kopczynski has to go to the wall to pick it up. Going into second base is Weber with a double. Still, there has not been a 1-2-3 inning for Kershke in this game.
JB, you can be a little bit fooled with your body right here, but look at Webb's hands. They stay back, and he was able to just stay back just that hair longer and drive the ball to right field. Kopczynski made a good effort, but just not enough.
Ross Stevens with the runner on second and 2 out. Throw to second, they got it. So after getting the double and the potential tying run to second base, Weber gets picked off, and that ends the inning. No runs on a hit. We head for the bottom of the fifth. Herscher leading 4-3. Greg Einhorn now going into the 5th inning. So far, he has had 4 runs scored upon him as Teutopolis trailing Herscher 4-3. Steve Kershke will lead off the inning. Walked and reached in a fielder's choice. And as we saw in the earlier innings, Einhorn able to just bite off that outside corner of the plate. The 0-1. Kershke jumps on it, drives it right back up the middle for a base hit. So the Herscher Tigers, for the 2nd inning in a row, get their leadoff hitter aboard. Kershke doesn't want to come out. He wants to run. Steve Wilkins,
get your rest,
who made the base running error back in the 1st inning, is now going to get a chance to run, and I guarantee you he won't make a mistake out there this time. That look on Kershke's face was priceless. Tim Marks comes to the plate. Marks fouls it off down the right field line.
You know, both of these guys are difficult to run on. Einhorn is really quick to the plate. He's got to be 1-1 to the plate, and it's difficult to run in those situations. So if you are going to run, you might want to try a hit and run. Although with a guy like Marks at the plate who can flat out swing it, you might just want to give him the hit sign.
And you have the meat of the order coming up. Hovey is up next. And that one's outside. 1-1 the count. Marks came in hitting .374. Einhorn working from the stretch. Runner goes. Here comes the throw to second base. Well to the first base side. They would have had him, but Corey Weber couldn't hang on to the baseball. So Wilkins is in at second base.
You know, Wilkins got a pretty good jump right here. Schmidt just, you know, up the first base line. Custer just couldn't find that ears.
It was actually a pretty good throw because it was right into the runner. Weber just couldn't hang on.
I think that was a hit and run too. Marks had a funky swing on that.
1-2 the count. And what a great job of hitting. Base hit into right field. Wilkins is getting the hold sign at third base. So we have runners on first and third and nobody out, and that's the reason why he was given the hold sign.
Well, great decision by Coach Regis. With nobody out, you don't want to make that first out over at home plate. And what a great piece of hitting by Marks. Looked funny on the pitch before it, but then was able to drive the ball. I love to see young players be able to drive the ball to right field with authority, and Marks just plugs the hole between first and second.
And you have to wonder now, with the second visit out to the mound by Teutopolis coach Rob Smith, if that's going to be it for Einhorn. Coming into pinch run is Todd Hoffman, number 11, a junior. So we have Hoffman and Wilkins, designated runners on the base paths. And Einhorn is going to stay on the mound.
You know, Teutopolis is a little jammed up here, JB. What they have out there, Custer threw 7 innings yesterday, then had to come in relief in the semifinal game. Ross Stevens, who just ran out of gas in the semifinal game earlier this morning. So Coach Smith does not have a whole lot to go to.
And realistically, the job of Einhorn here really has to be to strike out Hovey. After that, he can let his defense help him, but any ball in play is going to score a run. High into center field. Johnny King is underneath it. Wilkins at third. He will tag and go. Here comes the throw. Instead, it's going to go into second base. Sacrifice fly for Hovey, 1 out.
Kershke's in the dugout right now, yelling at Coach Regis. I could have done that. But Hovey, that was a good at bat right there by Hovey. Just getting it out over the infield.
And realistically, not a bad trade-off for Einhorn. He gets the out. The runner stays at first. So about double play. The damage has been limited, and then T-Town comes to bat in the 6th.
JB, there's not too many times where you can hold that guy at third base with nobody out.
Right. Yeah, that's why I say you had to get the strikeout. Travis Brown at the plate, fouls it back, 0-1.
You know, you can try for the strikeout against Hovey, but boy, that's difficult. And then trying to roll a pair. But if Teutopolis right here, if Einhorn can hold them, you know, Teutopolis, we've seen them score runs in bunches.
Because remember, still working against Steve Kershke at this point is the fact he threw 7 innings yesterday, 97 pitches.
Chippy, I don't know how they do it.
Well, you know what, Dave? You're a kid. You ought to be able to do it realistically. Look over to first.
And really, and we talked about earlier, at this point, it is all adrenaline.
That one driven deep into center field. Johnny King is going to back, and it's off the wall. Hoffman is going to round third. He's being waved in. Here comes the throw to the plate. Hoffman will slide. He's in there. 6-3 Herscher.
Boy, it just drives this ball right here. Got to pitch in. He was looking in that situation and just drove it to left center. What a game he is having.
Travis Brown doubled and scored back in the fourth. Now doubles in a run here in the fifth. And that is going to be it for Einhorn. And Pat West right now is towing the rubber.
Boy, what an impressive Travis Brown defensively over at shortstop and then getting 2 big knocks for the Tigers.
So Einhorn will now move out into the field. Pat West will be the new pitcher. It's 6-3 Herscher over T-Town when we come back. Correction, Mitch Prummer, the pitcher for Teutopolis. Einhorn moves out to left field. But here's the situation. Runner on second, 1 out. 2 runs already in for Herscher. And at the plate now is Justin Marty, that pitch high.
You know, just in talking with Coach Smith before the game, Prummer's got good stuff, although he hasn't thrown that much this year. But boy, you gotta like his size on the mound.
1-1 the count. And there's a strike, 1 and 2. The 1-2, high, 2 and 2. Well, one thing about Prummer, he sure doesn't mess around, does he?
That is good old-fashioned hard ball.
Driven towards second base. Corey Weber has it over to first, and that is the second out of the inning. But Brown advances over to third.
I like this right here. Prummer going to go out of the windup with a man on third base. Why not?
Jason Adams at the plate. He'll take high, 1-0. Flew out to center in the second, reached on an error in the fourth, and came around and scored. And that went outside as well. You know, I get the feeling that Prummer can be a little wild. You may not want to dig in against the guy.
Watch your lips.
6'6", he can sure throw it. And he has fallen behind 3-0, so green light city here for Jason Adams, you would have to imagine, with 2 out. Maybe not. Caught the outside corner. Swung at that one, and now the count full. 3-2, 2 out. Herscher leads 6-3. We're in the bottom of the fifth. The 3-2 driven into right center field. Long way to run for Herbeth and Johnny King. Herbeth comes over and makes the play. So the damage limited to a couple of runs. 6-3 Herscher. T-Town coming to bat as we go to the 6th. Teutopolis has 6 outs remaining to catch up in this game. Ross Stevens leading off the top half of the 6th. He swings and misses 0-1. Now all of a sudden the outs become precious. Stevens struck out and then singled in the third. That pitch well inside.
Boy, what a gutsy game Stevens pitched earlier in the day for the W to get him to this spot.
Low and outside, 3-1. Critical for T-Town that Stevens figure out a way to get on base. Drives it into right field. Got a good jump out of Kopchinski, but it'll drop in for a base hit. So exactly what the Wooden Shoes wanted. They get the leadoff man aboard here in the sixth. Well, you know what? Runners on base has not been that out of an occurrence against Kershke. Let's see if he can shut it down from here.
Stevens, great piece of hitting right here. 3-1, keyholed Kershke and drove the ball to right field.
Mike beaming at the plate. He'll take strike one. He's 2 for 2. Singled in a run in the first, doubled in the third. Drives it up the middle. Marty, he's had an adventure out there all night long, but he makes the play. One away. That ball was fishtailing and diving and slicing all over the place.
It's like one of my golf shots right here. Just slices Marty. He has been struggling a little bit out there, but recovers and makes a great play. That is not an easy ball to catch. That one right at you.
Throw over to first. Greg Einhorn is at the plate. The line on Greg Einhorn. 4 1/3, 7 hits, gave up 6 runs, 5 earned, walked 1, struck out 5. And that pitch low and in the dirt. Einhorn at the plate is 0 for 2. Would dearly love to at least advance the runner here. Grounded toward third. Nice scoop by Pat West. Goes over to second. He races the lead man. You know, all of a sudden, Dave, Herscher is kicking it in, and they're just making all the right plays.
Boy, they really are. And what a confidence builder for Kershke when you got some guys that can flat out pick it. Pat West, Travis Brown over at shortstop. They got some guys that can throw some leather.
Brad Schmidt comes to the plate. Swings at the first pitch, 0-1. Schmidt singled in the second. Grounded out to third in the fourth.
Kershke really right now has got a good feel of his breaking ball, and he's going to it.
The 0-1. Make it 0-2.
Well, I like the way he's adding and subtracting off his breaking ball. That one was a little bit harder, more like a slider.
Let's see what he does here. No doubt he's juiced up. 0-2. 2 out.
Fastball in.
And fighting it off was Schmidt. Over to make the play, or at least attempt to, as Tim Marks gave up his body but didn't make the play.
That was a tremendous effort by Marks.
Well, and the thing is, too, is this is the second game he's caught today. It's been hot. It's been humid.
What a gamer.
But he knows there are only 4 more outs to go before Herscher can claim the state title, and you never want to get anybody an extra swing. But that's exactly what Brad Schmidt has here, and now it's up for him to see if he can make it count.
You know, Kershke went in his kitchen right there. This is a good pitch right now. You got in his kitchen to go with the breaking ball away. Decides to go with the fastball away, but something, once you show in, then you can go away.
1-2. Kershke gets another strikeout. And so far in the game, Kershke has struck out 4. Again, he allows early, but shuts the door after that. Herscher leading 6-3. We're heading for the bottom of the 6th. Another portion of the high school baseball tournament is the annual hitting contest. The winner, Zach Borowiak of Nashville, had 11 homers in the regular season. Took 2 out of the art in the hitting contest. So congratulations to Zach.
That's a good looking swing right there, JB.
Throwing some ropes, baby.
Throwing some head.
And Zach picking up his trophy afterwards. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. And leading off is Matt Duval. Grounded out in the 4th. Did the same thing in the 2nd, but the difference was he grounded out and got a run driven in the 4th. He takes high, 1-1. Herscher leading 6-3. What they'd love to do here is tack on a couple more and at least get more than one swing of the bat ahead. Ground ball to short. Custer comes up with it and makes the throw to first. Teutopolis, defensively, they have to hold things right where they are at, and they've gone a long way toward doing that by retiring the leadoff hitter.
What I like about Prummer, when you're 6'6", you can work the angles and start that pitch off high and work it down. And Custer makes a nice play over at short. I like the way Custer plays over at shortstop. He's got good actions.
You look up and down this Herscher lineup, and it seems like every guy has made a contribution. West singled and drove in a run in the 4th inning.
Boy, Pat West is locked in.
Wishes he hadn't have swung there and got a break. 2-1.
I think he knows he went there.
West double checking on the count. Bottom of the 6th inning. 6-3 Herscher. You know, the pitchers, ever since they figured out they can get that high outside corner there, they've been going at it all night. 2-2. Little low. Full count now for West. Came into the state tournament hitting .273.
Ooh.
He drives that into left center field. Once again, Johnny King running back. He will not get there. The ball will go to the wall. West made a big turn at first base, just gets into second with a double. First hit off Prummer.
I don't know whether Pat West thought he just jumped ship here, but he did not make a good turn over at first base. He got a low fastball. Prummer's ball moves when it's down in the zone, but Pat West is in a tree right now, really swinging the bat well, and he barely made it into second base.
You know, I think he had a hard time picking up the ball again, Dave. Now remember, the advertising signs on the outfield wall are white. It's very difficult to see exactly where the ball hits out there. Trust me. Matt Kopczynski comes to the plate. Takes strike 2. 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 3rd. 0-2 the count, 1 away runner at second. High. Prummer has to hold Herscher right where they're at. Fouled off to the left field side.
Well, that was a nice hack by Kopczynski. You know, if he's on your number 1, probably a pretty good chance to change speeds on him right here.
Prummer didn't like the original pitch, and
well,
now Kopczynski is going to step out.
I think Schmitty wanted a fastball in that count. I think Prummer's thinking alongside us up here that, hey, he was right on my number 1. Let's go with a breaking ball.
Tried to jam him inside. Ground ball to second base. Weber up with it 2 away. Well, whatever the final decision was, it worked very well. And now the Shoes are 1 out away from getting out of this 6th and coming up for their final 3 outs down by 2. But they first have to deal with Steve Kershke, who has been an absolute machine at the plate tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 5th. He walked and scored all the way back in the 1st.
In key situations, both coaches, for Teutopolis and Herscher, they will call some pitches.
Boy, that outside corner is getting a little generous, don't you think? 1-1. But it's been consistent.
JB, I'm a pitcher. If you throw it on a fly, it should be a strike.
You know, and again, the point has to be made. It's not like the strike zone has been growing or moving out. It's been very, very consistent. That high outside corner of the plate has been called a strike all night long. If it just gets a part of it, and that comes up inside. 2-2.
You know, and that's one of the things that you're seeing in the big leagues now is that, you know, they thought they were going to call that high pitch a strike. They're not calling that high pitch a strike at all.
I still maintain a lot of the problems that they have in Major League Baseball can be solved if they just call the strike zone the way we're seeing it called tonight.
Absolutely.
You're going to see hitters going up there attacking,
Swinging.
and you're going to see pitchers not having to throw the ball through a teacup. 3-2, 2 out. Prummer issues a walk. Herscher is on first. Let's see if they send somebody out for it.
Not after the way he reacted last time, JB.
He was not a happy guy.
Well, I think in this spot, Herscher was pinch 1 for last time with nobody out. Now you've got 2 out, so he's not going to be on the base pads that long.
Tim Marks at the plate. Runners on first and third. It's a 6-3 game, and that one fouled off. And Marks just missed that one.
Boy, I played for one of the best pitching coaches in the game, Ray Miller. And one of his points was if a hitter fouls a ball straight back, that means he is all over your fastball, and that's the time to come with something else. But Prummer right here is going to go fastball in. Schmidt set up in, but Prummer worked him away.
Marks looked like he was guessing right, but just didn't pull the trigger. And he just watched a pitch go by that he would have liked to have driven somewhere. 2 out, remember. It's 0-2. 1 strike away. Runner goes. Prummer has got him picked off. Uh-oh, here comes the runner from third. That's a key mistake, David. It's a key mistake.
Boy, Coach Regis is pulling out all the right moves here in this game. And you got a young guy that hasn't been on the mound as much as Prummer has. You try and put heat on him.
And what that does now is Herscher is up by at least 1 swing of the bat. Pitch high, 1-2. Prummer has to do now is just not be rattled. Should have given up second base rather than let the run score.
Well, the one thing Prummer did not do in that situation, he didn't look the runner at third back first.
To second base. Nice stop in the skin by Weber. Comes up with it. Safe at first. Here comes the runner from third. Safe. He slid under the tag by Schmidt. Herscher scores the run that puts Herscher up by 5. The Herscher Tigers, with some smart baseball here with 2 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, have given themselves the cushion they sought.
Boy, what a great piece of hitting right here, driving it the other way in great range over here. Corey Weber knocks the ball down, throws it over to first. Beaning was right on it. Great dig, but Coach Regis, you got to give him credit, sending Herscher all the way. And the only thing right there, Schmidt probably didn't do a very good job of blocking the plate, although he had to come up the line a little bit to make the catch.
And you know what? Regis, it's a good gamble, because if he's out at the plate, you're up by 4. But if he gets in there, then you're up by 5. And believe me, that's a huge difference. Todd Hoffman will go out to first base to run for Tim Marks. Reason being, Marks is the catcher.
Well, JB, the one thing, it's okay to make that last out at third base. You just don't want to make the first, you don't want to make the first out at home plate. You can, it's okay to make that last out at home plate.
Ryan Hovey swings and misses. Now, you know what? I've never understood that, and I never will. Why is it okay to make an out anywhere at any time?
It's okay, I guess, to take a chance in that situation. I mean, even though you got a guy like Hovey up at the plate, you know, you got to get a knock to drive him in. Now, if you got a guy at third base with 1 out, anything will drive him in.
And again, it's an enormous difference being up by 5 as opposed by 4. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at first. Herscher leading 8-3. Herscher has rolled off 2 spots in each of the last 3 innings. Hovey swings and misses, and that brings to an end the 6th inning. The wooden shoes of Teutopolis have a lot of work in front of them if they're going to win a state title. They need to rally for at least 5, as we are through 6. Ryan Witchess, the first hitter. A lot of work to be done by T-Town here. They trail by 5, 0-1 the count. And now, Herscher ahead 0-2. I think it's time, Dave, to start talking about Steve Kerschke as an Iron Man. Second day in a row, he's working on going the distance.
Boy, once he gave up those runs early in the game, he really settled down.
And let's credit the rest of the defense as well. They've made big play after big play in the field. Kerschke was looking for that outside corner, did not get it. 2-2.
Well, when you got a great defense behind you, you don't have to always make that nasty pitch.
Richis fouls it back. So we have a great battle going here between a hitter who knows he has to figure out somehow to get on first base and a pitcher who wants to keep that lead runner off base. Outside, 3-2.
And when you're throwing the ball as well as Kerschke is, probably Teutopolis isn't going to take to a strike.
And he didn't there. Pounded it into the ground. Marks comes out, throws to first, got his man. Another wonderful defensive play by the Herscher Tigers.
Well, we really haven't had a chance to see Marks' hose in this series, but he's got a good one, and he bounces around. We saw him chase that pop-up earlier in the game, and he gets out there and makes a nice play and throws a bullet over to first base.
That was a great throw. First pitch to Johnny King, the leadoff man, top of the order, is a ball. And King skies it behind shortstop. Travis Brown calls for it and had to back up and make the catch. Usually when you back up, you're in trouble.
Well, Brownie had the beat on that right away. I don't think Pat West saw that out of the gate. But Brownie was all over it, makes a nice play.
The fans who have made their way down from Herscher are on their feet as they are 1 out away from a state championship. 8-3 Herscher, 2 out. Teutopolis down to their last man here in the top of the 7th. It's Mitch Custer. And that strikes that high outside corner, 0-1. Popped up. Calling for it is Ryan Holby, and the player who has had the best defensive game out of anybody records the final out. The Herscher Tigers win the Class A state championship, 8-3, the final score over Teutopolis.
What a ball club. The Herscher Tigers, Coach Regas just does a tremendous job this year with his ball club. Not only do they get great hitting, but tremendous defensively. And you really got to tip your cap also to Teutopolis and Greg Einhorn, who battled his rear end off out there. But just Herscher was just a little too much firepower.
Even though Teutopolis out-hit Herscher 11-9, the fact of the matter is the Herscher Tigers were outstanding defensively, and that's why they're the state champions. We'll come back for the trophy presentation to the Herscher Tigers as state champs after this timeout. Now, sometimes in a game, the line score can be a little bit deceiving and not tell very much of the story, but in our championship game tonight, the line score really does tell the story if you look at the last column. Teutopolis with 3 errors on the night. Herscher, they were clean in the field, and they had some very difficult chances to handle. Kerschke is the winner, Einhorn the loser.
Yeah, really. Travis Brown over at shortstop. What an outstanding shortstop. Just sucking up everything there, and at third base, another great job. So, yeah, they did the little things, JB. Herscher did.
Herscher, in their first trip to the state championship game, they're going to go back north with a state championship. I'll tell you what, when you play in the state championship and you win, it really doesn't matter how you played. But I think these guys, and it's a senior-laden team, these guys have played baseball for a long, long time. They very well may have had their best effort in their final game together.
Well, that's what's great to see, you know, especially seniors leaving their high school. These guys have played together a long time. Teutopolis also a bunch of seniors, and really Rob Smith has done a great job with this club. Doing it solo tonight without the aid of his assistant coach.
And the thing is, there will be a good nucleus of Teutopolis' team coming back. King comes back for another year next year. Custer will be back, as will Einhorn. Remember, he's only a sophomore, which is kind of frightening.
Well, to be able to pitch in a championship game like Einhorn, he's going to be some kind of pitcher.
Witches is back as well. And the other thing for Teutopolis, they have 3 other pitchers that are coming back.
You know, they got some good arms. I think they probably run into a little bit. They got a little short there in the end. Boy, they had some guys hanging. You know, you look at Ross Stevens, who threw in the semifinal game earlier, and just a gutsy effort on his part, but there was no way he could come back. And Custer, who also threw yesterday, and also had to come back in the semifinal game today for a couple pitches.
Teutopolis finishes second, Herscher first. Now, earlier tonight, in the 3rd place game, handed out a little bit more hardware. And in that game, Massac County, a 10-6 winner over Marquette. Massac County was trailing in that game 6-4 when they came to bat in the bottom of the 5th, put up a 4 spot, and were off and running after that. So congratulations to Massac County and Marquette simply for getting here. And you know what? You look at the game and you watch it played and you enjoy the competitiveness of it, but as we were walking into the stadium tonight, we were walking by some of the players from Massac County, and one of the players' moms was talking to the coach, and she said, "Coach, thanks for everything you did for my boy." And really, when you get down to it, that's what it's all about.
You know what? These coaches are outstanding. If they got paid by the hour, they'd probably make a nickel an hour. These guys bust the rear end day in and day out, put together a great ball club. And these guys, you know, it's kind of a, you know, you win the championship or you finish second. It's a great feeling because you've played together a long time, ever since Little League, and this will be the last time that these guys play together. Some guys will go on and play in college, but for some of these guys, this is it, and what a thrill for them to be able to play in a championship game of this caliber.
And for most of the guys from Teutopolis, and really for any of the teams that come in second, those medals get thrown in the drawer when they get home and not looked at very often, but 3 or 4 years from now, they come out and they get hung in the trophy case. So it's awfully difficult to finish second, but when you look back on it, you understand what an achievement it is just simply to get here. It's always the hardest part about these IHSA events is watching the team that finishes second get their awards.
And unfortunately, there's only one winner that finishes up on top.
.35-4 for Herscher at the end of the season, and realistically for Herscher, the record can be a little bit deceiving, as a matter of fact, because their losses, 4 of them on the season, 1 of them was to Bishop McNamara, another one was to Morris. Those are both AA teams. They lost to Coal City, the back end of a doubleheader, and that game was 9-8. And the other game they lost was to a team right in their own backyard, Reed Custer.
Well, Herscher doesn't shy away from playing AA clubs. There's some great talent up that way in the Kankakee area. And they go out there and play. That is a great brand of baseball. And they showed it tonight because, boy, Coach Regis pulled out all the stops, made some great defensive moves, had a big pickoff in the 5th inning, picking off Corey Weber for Teutopolis, taking Teutopolis out of a big inning.
Number 3, Steve Kershke.
Boy, what a horse Kershke is.
Yeah, 14 innings pitched, 2 victories.
I guarantee you, JB, he's not going to be able to brush his teeth tomorrow morning.
Number 7.
But you know what? I don't think anybody's going to mind if he has bad breath.
Number 8, Justin Martin.
You know what? That was a big play looking back now. Remember, Justin Marty had a tough time in center field tonight, but he made that big catch in the 6th inning when there was a runner on first.
You know, in a bullet in that situation that is slicing off a left-hander's bat, and he stayed on it. That could have gotten by him for big trouble.
And the score was only 5-3 at the time.
Boy, what a tournament Pat West has had.
21, Steve Wilkins.
Pat West, only a sophomore. He's going to have 2 more great years for the Tigers.
And we talked about the disappointment there is for the second place team, the first place team. The stories only get taller starting right now.
Number 33.
Case in point, Marty, that's probably going to be an over-the-shoulder catch at the 4:15 sign in 3 years. Shades of Willie Mays.
Well, you really also have to give credit to people like Raleigh Thill, the pitching coach for the Tigers. Does a great job with that pitching staff.
It is quite an accomplishment out of all the schools in the state of Illinois that you come in second, 34-4. What a year for the Wooden Shoes. For the team that ends the season with a victory, the Herscher Tigers. They win the state championship. Final score 8-3. They end the season with a 37-4 record. We'll be back to put a cap on it after this timeout. Our Pepsi play of the game came in the bottom of the 6th inning. The situation, Herscher was leading 6-3, 2 out, 0-2 count in the batter. Runners on first and third. Steve Kershke gets hung up between first and second, but the reason he did that is so Pat West could score from third. That made it a 4-run game. Herscher tacked on 1 more. They win it by a final score of 8-3. So for my partner, Dave Otto, and our entire crew, I'm Jim Blaney saying so long from Springfield. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net Chicago and Intersport Television.